It is Monday, December 4th, 2021. Happy New Year. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey with Center Church. This is Gospel for Five, where we take 5 minutes out of our day and focus on the gospel and the one who saved our souls, because Jesus is the gospel. So we ended up in Galatians chapter 5, around verse 7. So let's just begin there. Maybe we'll recap a little bit, but around verse 7, where Paul writes, "You were running well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth?" Now remember, the theme of Galatians is grace plus nothing. That is salvation according to the New Testament documents written by the apostles. You're saved by the grace of God through Christ plus nothing. So that's the truth we want to believe. That's the truth that we proclaim. That's the truth that brings freedom to people. That's the truth that brings salvation to people. You are running well. When you believe the gospel, when you believe Jesus Christ, who he is, if you believe in his life, his death, and his resurrection, you're running well. You are running well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth? From putting your life in line with the truth that you're not saved by anything you do other than putting your complete confidence in the life, death, and resurrection of the person of Jesus Christ that we find recorded in these ancient documents. You were running well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth that you're saved by grace plus nothing? Well, these Judaizers that came in from the church in Jerusalem, or it might have just been one person who was influential from that church, because we know that there were others from that church who believed the truth that you're saved by grace plus nothing, but you had this person coming in to disrupt their running well, to trip them up, so to speak, teaching you're saved by believing in Jesus plus something, some added thing. And here's the thing, verse 8, "This persuasion is not from him who calls you." This idea that you're saved by grace, by what Jesus did, plus something you do, is not from God. That influence, the influence of that teaching, if it's not from God, then where's it from? Well, it's either from the flesh or the devil, biblically speaking. The problem is, if it's from the flesh or the devil, that kind of teaching that you're saved by Jesus plus something you do, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. That kind of thinking can actually seep in and then not only pervert your Christian life and disturb your Christian life, but it can disturb the Christian lives of others. That's the problem with it. A little false teaching goes a long way. A little you're saved by Jesus plus something you do goes a long way. And if you've ever been influenced by that kind of teaching, it takes years to get that pathway out of your mind. Right? It takes years. Once that pathway has been delved in your mind, it takes a long time to forge a new path in your thinking regarding how God sees you, especially when you know you're a sinner, you know you're failing, you know you often fail, you know you failed yesterday, you know you'll fail today at some point. And it's not a defeatist life. That's not the point. The point is, if you believe God is showering his grace upon you because of something you're doing, then you'll never enjoy the grace of God that he showers upon you because of Christ. Because you're always going to trip up and stumble and fail. You just can't get away from it, right? I hate to break the news to you, but being, imperfect human beings, we can never get to that place where we're running so well in our own strength that, boy, God's very pleased with me now. If you're in that mindset, you're never going to enjoy the grace that God showers upon you in his Son, Jesus Christ, because he is love. Now, what's God said to you today?